I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth. The whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Mrs. Owen.
Hiya.
Can you tell the court where you were on the night of the 22nd of June this year?
I were on our Tina's hen night.
Your sister Tina's hen night?
Yeah. A big gang of us went for a drink at Hollyoaks Village.
And at what time was this?
Around 6-ish. We had a drink in house first, just to get warmed up. 1 or 2 bottles of wine.
I see. So you went out after you'd drunk a couple of bottles of wine between you?
No, each.
Indeed. So you say you went for a drink in Hollyoaks Village. Where exactly?
The loft.
So the hen party arrived at the loft at 6:30. What time did it leave?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No. I didn't leave with them.
Why not?
Me and our Tina had had a Barney.
An argument?
Yeah. I were really brassed off with her. She wouldn't talk to me, so I thought I'd go talk to someone else.
So you decided to go and talk to someone else?
Yeah.
Who did you talk to? Mrs. Owen, who did you talk to?
Warren.
The defendant, Warren Fox. How would you describe the defendant's mood that evening?
Good. You were really chilled.
I see. You've already said you didn't leave the Loft nightclub at the same time as the rest of the hen party.
That's right.
Did you leave alone?
No.
Can you tell the court who you left with?
I left with Warren.
The defendant. I see. And what time was this?
About 10:30, I suppose.
And where did you and the defendant go from there? Mrs. Owen, where did you and the defendant go?
We went back to his place.
So, you arrived back at the defendant's flat at approximately 10:30 in the evening?
Yeah.
And what happened when you got back to the flat?
We had a drink. A chat.
I see. And what time did you leave the defendant's flat?
Around 5 in the morning.
You stayed the night at the defendant's flat?
Yeah.
Mrs. Owen, did the defendant leave the flat at any point between you and him arriving at the flat and you leaving the next morning?
No.
So the defendant was there the whole time?
Yeah.
How can you be so sure about that?
Because I was with him.
You were with him the whole time?
Yeah. You know.
No, I'm sorry, I don't. Can you explain to the court exactly what you mean?
I would.
Mrs. Owen.
I were in bed with him.
You were in bed with the defendant?
Yeah. And that is how I know he couldn't have been anywhere else. Babe, I'm so sorry.
Ross! He were one off, I was drunk! Ross!
Mrs. Owen, you're giving your evidence to the court.
I'm going to have to go get it.
You will stay exactly where you are, or I'll hold you in contempt of court.
Mrs. Owen, can you tell the court what sort of relationship you have with Claire Cunningham?
What?
Just answer the question, please, Mrs. Owen.
It's all right, I suppose. Look, can I go?
You're still under oath, Mrs. Owen. You're not going anywhere until you've finished answering my questions. You just said that your relationship with Claire Cunningham is all right.
Yeah.
I'd suggest it's far from all right, Mrs. Owen. In fact, I'd suggest it's bordering on the poisonous. Isn't it the case that at the time of this incident you were pursuing a claim for compensation against Claire Cunningham?
Yeah, but that were legit.
Just like your claim against Shoebarn for a fallen arch in April of last year.
Them shoes nearly crippled me.
Or your claim against Painted Nails for a damaged cuticle in January of this year.
The manicurist were a butcher. What are you trying to say?
That you're little more than a professional claimant. Where there's blame, there's a claim, Mrs. Owen?
Don't know what you're on about.
And heaven help anyone if they should contest one of your claims, as Claire Cunningham did.
That scheming cow were trying to stitch me up.
And now you're trying to stitch her up.
No.
You weren't with the defendant when Claire Cunningham was pushed, were you?
Yeah, I was.
You've invented this whole story.
I'm telling the truth.
The truth? So why did it take you so long to come forward as a witness?
Why do you think?
I'm asking the questions, Mrs. Owen.
Because my marriage were at stake.
Or is it because this is an attempt to get your own back on Claire Cunningham?
I'm telling the truth. Why would I make it up?
No further questions, Your Honour.
Why would I lie? My husband's just walked out on me. I've probably lost my marriage because of this.
Hello, Ruth. I heard about the defendant's far from harmonious relationship with Claire Cunningham. It's abundantly clear that there was no love lost between them. It's also clear that the defendant was intent on taking control of the Loft nightclub by whatever means necessary. In short, the Crown submits that the defendant, Warren Fox, wanted Claire Cunningham out of the way. We've also heard the evidence of Mercedes Owen. Mrs. Owen claims that she was with the defendant at the time Claire Cunningham was pushed. But we've also heard that Mercedes Owen was pursuing a claim for compensation against Claire Cunningham, that she had a grudge against her. This was her way of getting her own back.
Members of the jury, do not be swayed by emotion. Look at the facts. Look at the evidence, or should I say, lack of it. There's no forensic evidence. Nobody actually witnessed the incident. You've heard from Mercedes Owen that she was with the defendant at the time the offence was committed. I would ask you to give particular weight to her evidence, as it has clearly come at great personal cost to herself. They've reached a verdict.
You alright? Yeah.
Will the defendant please stand? Members of the jury, have you reached a verdict upon which you are all agreed?
We have.
On the charge of attempted murder, how do you find the defendant? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Mr. Fox, you may leave the dock. You're free to go.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I know.
So what's the problem?
Listen, I'll give you 2 minutes, okay? I'll catch up with you.
What's going to here?
You think we can just carry on like nothing's happened? Okay, you didn't push Claire. But what you did to Sean, what you tried to do to Justin.
Kate, you don't understand.
Warren, please don't insult my intelligence, okay?
Come on, mate.
And don't patronise me, okay? This is me you're talking to, and I know you better than anyone. At least I thought I did. You're my brother, and I love you so much. But you know what? Doesn't mean I have to like you.
Now, Katie,
Come on, let's get that drink. There's a cracking little pub over there.
Yeah, listen, why don't we go back to the flat and have a quiet drink there?
Oh, some celebration this is turning out to be.
Warren, the last few weeks have been horrendous.
Yeah, well, they haven't been too clever from where I've been sitting either.
I know. It's just I need a bit of time to get my head around things.
What things? Look. What you said before in the courtroom.
I thought I was going to lose you.
Did you mean it? I'd asked you to join us for a glass of bubbly. Yeah, I thought as much. It's been a rough couple of days for you, hasn't it? You know what? If you could have seen your face when they found me not guilty, priceless. We'll have that drink another time then, eh?
Just stay away from me.
Come on. You're not going to let a little thing like attempted murder come between friends, are you? Careful, Claire. You don't want to end up in a place like this, do you?
And if it's for killing you!
I take it that means you don't want me in work tomorrow, then?